If you've been to Walt Disney World Resort lately, you probably have noticed that Epcot might just be worse off than it was before they spent billions of dollars to so-called upgrade it. But how did it go wrong, folks? How is it that they have largely destroyed a theme park that was once great? Well, folks, what if we told you that they don't understand they're building theme parks in Florida? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, and we will even explain basic geography to those who design theme park concepts. And that's what we're going to have to do today, because there's a big story, folks, I think, that needs to be brought forth, because Walt Disney World Resort needs some attention, and it has received plenty of attention. The problem is not that it has not received money. It has. Huge capex spending in Epcot in the billions range, and more money being poured down in the future on these theme parks. But there's a problem, and it needs to be addressed. There is a level of incompetence that is happening that is destroying these parks, which were out of the vision of the original man himself, Walt. They follow the same conceptual designs and ideas and concepts, and now they're being thrown away by precepts out of Southern California, out of a new crew of folks who have no idea what they're doing. And we're going to explain that right now as we dive in. Click the like button. Here we go. This is out of Disney Tourist Blog, and it's by Tom Bricker. Folks, I don't know if Tom Bricker likes me. I don't know if Tom Bricker listens to this channel. All I can tell you is I find myself more and more enjoying Tom Bricker's content. They don't pay us a thing. We've never spoken. We've never messaged. I like this site, DisneyTouristBlog.com. And I hope Tom Bricker, when he hears this, doesn't say, no, he's marked me. Because a lot of these sites that cover Disney, they would not want me to endorse them because they would, I'm critical in some sites. Tom is plenty critical, though, so I think we might be in simpatico. We'll get Jonas to see if he might come on the show sometime. It says, World Celebration and Communicore at Epcot Review. Better than a dirt pit and walls, I guess. Woo! Folks, as you know, if you've been following on social media, I've been spending a lot of time in the past week, 2 weeks or so, at the Disney parks. And I used to get to spend way more time at the Disney parks. I can't do that quite as often anymore because, well, we do this now, right? The YouTube channel and producing 3 videos a day, plus other YouTube channels, plus a website, plus there's a lot, right? And so we can't do it all the time. But I've had a takeaway. We're going to read this article, but I've had a takeaway that one of the primary problems that Disney has right now, and this is so imbecilic that it's hard to believe, but it must be true. One of my realizations about all of the upgrades, and that's a loose term here, at Disney World, is that whoever is doing this, whoever's behind this, whoever's designing this, all of these things, they have no understanding whatsoever of climate. They have no understanding whatsoever of Florida. These things are designed for Anaheim. They are not designed for a place that gets really hot and where the sun is extremely intense. They're not designed for a place where it rains in torrential downpours at times and then is sunny again with the, the fog rising off the concrete as the sun beats down upon it. And in fact, a lot of people don't know this, but Florida actually gets cold. Even Central Florida, during February especially, can be a very cold place. I know that's shocking. I know it's surprising, but it's true. And so much of what has been done to Disney World, so much of it is designed as if it is always 70 degrees and partly cloudy. And the problem is it's so wrong. It's so incorrect. And it is creating an environment where people are miserable at the parks. They are removing air conditioning tremendously. They are removing climate-controlled interior spaces tremendously. They don't cover the queue areas. They don't cover that. And so you're just standing out there in the rain, in the sun, non-stop. I've also noticed this is strange too. I know why they do it. You'll know why they do it. We don't have to specify why they do it. But I've noticed the interiors, a lot of them are no longer frigid when you go inside. That used to be one of the greatest things. You're out in the Florida heat It's 98 degrees, 100% humidity, sweat rolling all, completely off of you. You're going to have a break. You go inside to one of these rides and, the cold air would blast you. No, not so much anymore. Enjoy your 78 degrees, sir, madam. Oh, wait, we can't use that language anymore. I forgot, friend. Enjoy your 78 degrees. And Epcot was once upon a time, by the way, folks, Epcot was designed by people who had a couple of neurons working at least, and they knew this. They actually went to Florida and said, dang it, it's hot. And they understood. That's why Epcot was originally designed the way that it was with the pavilions, right? It was an answer to the criticisms of the Magic Kingdom, that the Magic Kingdom did not provide enough interior space to bring you out of the weather. And so Epcot had these massive pavilions where you would go and spend your time, and then you would walk to the next pavilion, and then you would be in this interior space. It's an answer to that. And World Showcase, of course, features that same concept as well. Those are mini pavilions, some of them outdoors, sure, but you would go into those pavilions and spend time indoors. And that makes sense. And when it's September, October, November, when it's March, April, May, you can stand to be out. But listen, there's a reason that Florida was uninhabitable until air conditioning was made available in the state. It was essentially not available. Florida, the state. But now we have Imagineers who design things as if that's not the case. And so, they destroyed huge chunks of Epcot in this latest upgrade. What do they replace it with? Well, they replaced it with more outdoor areas. It's insane. Take a look at this article, though. I've spent too much time. Communicore Hall and Plaza are the new multi-purpose spaces for guests to relax, to anchor Epcot festivals and everything in between. World Celebration is the new neighborhood in the former Future World that focuses on experiences that bring communities together. Also, just get rid of that. It's Future World. It's always going to be Future World because none of this is themed in any way. So this is nonsense. Get rid of that. It's Future World. You don't have any thematic differences going from one spot to the other. So it's a bunch of hooey. Walt Disney World introduced the new venues with Epcot's VP saying, if you can dream it, Communicore Hall can do it. I guess so can the lobbies outside the restrooms at airports. The future of this gathering and event space is limited only by the boundaries of imagination. Well, in plain Jane boring sheetrock, we're all about the magic of possibilities here at Epcot, and our imaginations are pretty spectacular. Maybe not so much. Disney added that Communicore Hall will bring the center of the park to life seasonally as an ever-changing hall to highlight art, live music, food, and more. This review will endeavor to determine whether Communicore Hall and Plaza, as well as the large celebration gardens around the venue, actually live up to those lofty words. Now, again, folks, what does the title say? World Celebration and Communicore and Epcot review, better than a dirt pit and walls, I guess. In other words, it's debatable whether or not this is better than just having had construction sit there. They could have not actually taken the walls down, and it's debatable that that would have been actually any worse than what we received. Anyway, it says it's sad that Walt Disney World closed Innovations. And how much square footage of interior air-conditioned space was that, folks? How much? And the central spine of former Future World in September 2019 and took so long for a replacement. It's sad that the plans for an architecturally ambitious 3-level festival center were canceled. It's sad that the COVID closure derailed so much intended for the Epcot overhaul, festival space included. Now, personally, folks, I think this article later on works on this, I don't think COVID's the reason. I think cold feet, that's the reason. I think COVID was an excuse to scale back. That's what I think. Because they could have paused all this for a year and reassessed. Remember when there was this massive amount of, throngs of people going to Disney World after the pandemic? Demand was insane. They could have reassessed and said, oh, wow, look at this demand. We should go full force into this. They didn't. You know why they didn't? Because they didn't want to continue to invest in Florida because they're so busy investing in China. That's why. It says, if you've read any of my commentary leading up to the opening of Communicore Hall, you know my expectations were not exactly sky high. It's not as if I had unrealistic expectations and was thinking that this rectangular building that took over 4 years to open was a clandestine coaster of Figment and Friends Jamboree. I knew it was going to be a festival space. I'd also like to bring up, too, I rode, it's been a while since I'd done this, but I rode the Imagination with Figment attraction, Journey into Imagination. I hate to call it that because the original was great and this is terrible. And it's been there for 2 decades, more, perhaps. Half of the effects not working. It's just garbage. Why not spend the money on that instead? Why not actually have a ride that works over there? And yet Communicore Hall somehow fell short of my very low expectations. How is that even possible? My expectations had gotten so low and the project was delayed by so much that maybe I was starting to come full circle and hope they'd surprise us and over-deliver a little. I don't even know anymore. And it goes on to talk about just what a pile of garbage the Communicore Hall is. But folks, I'm here to tell you, I think it comes down to, in large part, now Communicore Hall itself is air conditioned, but it's teeny tiny, itsy bitsy. But I think that they're designing these things for California. I think they're so naive, and it's hard to believe. But you know, if you were to design something, let's say that you received a project request and you're an architect and they ask you to build a building in Japan, and you built the building and there's not a single Japanese word on any of the fonts, on any of the text, on any of the labels anywhere in the building. It's all in English. Somebody would come to you and just like whack you on top of the head and say, what are you thinking? What do you know what language they speak in Japan? Well, that's what we should be doing to WDI, the people who design stuff for Disney. Like, you destroyed so much interior space at Epcot, and you replaced it with outdoor seating in the sun and a lip sync contest with Encanto that is out in the sun. Like, do you understand? You're just trying to heat stroke people at that point. Like, do you understand? Did you ever, I don't know, open weather.com to see what it's like over there in central sunshiny Florida? No, you did not. Well, you know, and on that note, by the way, the lights don't work anymore and they're covered in mold and mildew. Check out Lorena Creel. She's covering it. And here's the Encanto thing. Take a look at that. The performers, you can see some of they're in the sun, depending on the what's going on. That's a non-air conditioned space. There's no fans. There's no nothing, folks. Yeah, they put a little, ceiling over it. It's like 100 degrees. It's 100 degrees in the summer in Florida. And they're out there just doing their thing, baby. And look, you've got some artificial grass and some lawn chairs you could buy at Big Lots if it stays open any longer. You put those on the artificial turf, so you can listen to Encanto lip synced at 100 degrees. Now that's fun. That's fun. But they don't know what they're doing. They just flat out don't know what they're doing. Anyway, we've got some old pictures of Epcot. And by the way, the old pictures of Epcot, if you go back, you see those the shaded, the canopy that used to be over the center of the park. It didn't do a lot, but at least it cut some of the shade out because they understood. And now we get this fountain. I won't tell you what it looks like. You figured out. With nothing to block the sun from you. Nothing. You're just at the mercy of the solar energy of Central Florida. Good luck with that. Bring your SPF. The folks in Anaheim did not account for any of it. That's some kind of special. All right, folks, that's the commentary on Epcot and how they've actually made it tremendously worse than it ever was before. But the good news is you can stop by Moana's splash pad, and when it doesn't smell like sewage, you can raise your hands and it'll spray some water a little bit higher. It doesn't spray you, but, at least you can look at the water and imagine what it would be like if you had water. And that's a positive, right? All right, folks, I would imagine what it would look like if you click the like button. It would look like this video would explode on YouTube. It would take off. It would become the greatest thing since shade. Folks, don't throw us any shade. Click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts. And folks, we'll have guests real soon again, getting geared up for a whole lot coming up this next weekend. We're going to do the Pro Show, a special edition Sunday night. Valiant Renegade is going to be traveling. So we're going to take the Valiant Renegade show and put the Pro Special Edition there so the audience has something to watch Sunday evening. And then we're going to do the Acolyte After Party Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're there for the grand finale. All right, folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube.
Huh?
Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube. One of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga.
He's Jose!
That one seems a little bit foreign to you.